Reportedly, 3 people have lost their lives to the crime operations comprising Nampol, the NDF, and the city police thus far. Were it not for the evidence that woke Namibians recorded, we would not be aware of the extent of the brutality meted out on civilians. Apparently unfamiliar with the country's laws, Defense Minister Ndakolo is reported to have warned Namibians about filming security officers in their execution of their duties, whilst the law states that it is basically only the filming of their infrastructure that's prohibited. This followed the shooting of the latest victim, Ndakolo, who was shot allegedly after running away from soldiers he encountered and filmed during a crime operation. Defense Minister Ndakolo is reported to have said, "It is dangerous as such videos could be used to identify the member for possible revenge or some other criminal intentions. These days, videos can be doctored and used for all sorts of bad intentions. Members of the public are cautioned to refrain from taking videos of security force members in operations," Ndakolo stressed. The minister said Kalola was not authorized to record a video of the patrol as the motive for the recording was not known. He said the Defense Force suspects Kalola's intentions for recording were for revenge on the NDF members, which will not be tolerated. Ndakolo added that the victim had prior run-ins with the law, including 2 pending cases against him of armed robbery and another for robbery with aggravating circumstances. "So you can see what kind of a person you are dealing with here," he said. "The NDF, for which I'm responsible as Minister of Defense, will not tolerate any kind of behavior and actions that could endanger the lives of soldiers," he continued. Ombudsman John Walters and I spoke about this too.
There's a poor training of those officers on the street. You can imagine if you do not know and train properly and well trained in how to effect an arrest, how to effect a bodily search, how to under what circumstances you may shoot and kill a person who flees. If you do not have that, then you can understand, then is what's happening now. Irrational firing at persons who flee. The act is specific, the Criminal Procedure Act, that you cannot, if you want to arrest a person who committed a Scheduled 1 offense, or you reasonably suspect him of committing such an offense, and you wanted to arrest him, the police officer, and the person resists such arrest, the police officer may use the necessary force to overcome the resistance. If the officer wants to effect an arrest and that person flees, and the officer had reason to believe, on good grounds, on reasonable grounds, that he or she committed a Scheduled 1 offense, he may shoot and kill. But there are other requirements too. And do you know what is it? The Scheduled 1 offense? Not videotape or taking photographs of uniformed forces. That is the Criminal Procedure Act is specific on that. And that is why I plea, remove them. The intention is good, very good, to curb crime, to prevent crime, in order that we have a peaceful society. But when you put on persons with lethal weapons on the streets, you must make sure that they are properly trained in these actions which I just said now. And it seems to me that that is not what happened. That is the cause of it. This operation started some time ago. I'm not so sure how long ago. And as I said, before you deploy your uniform forces in our suburbs, just to reiterate, properly trained on these 3 matters I just mentioned. Then you must give the general public full information of what the duties are of this and what we as the citizenry can expect of these police officers. And then you also inform the citizens of their responsibility. Now, if there's such a provision in the Act, you should have informed them. You are not allowed to take a photograph of a police officer or videotape where somebody has been assaulted for whatever reason. You should have, these should be clarified in the very beginning starting. But ma'am, these things were all over the social media and even on your television. You showed it where there was, I saw something where a person was lying on the ground and he was kicked by a person in uniform. And somebody taped it. Nobody said, but you are wrong. Nobody of the police and the army went to your television, the national television, and said to you, we will prosecute you. You are violating the laws of this country. Now, I think the minister was not well advised in this matter. And for that, he cannot know all the laws of all the provision in his own legislation. It's sometimes difficult. Even lawyers do not know all the provisions. We have all the time go back and to go read up, like I've done now. Go back and to read up. So the minister, the person who persons who advise the minister should have done a better job.